In this video, I'm going to show you some actual strategies you can use when it comes to trading meme coins, low cap meme coins, so trench trading. And we're going to use Axiom Pro again. So this is further to my last video where I gave you a quick overview of exactly how it works. Now, if you want to use Axiom Pro, you can use my invite link, first link in description below, also in the pinned comments. And once you've got it set up, I'll show you exactly how it works. So you want to come here to Pulse. And what we're going to do first is we're going to do some filters, and I'm going to show you how to trade coins using a couple of strategies you can use here. So first of all, which bot should you use? Should it be Axiom, something else? Well, in my opinion, the best two bots right now when it comes to trading, especially lower cap coins, are Axiom Pro and BullX Hypervision by miles. Those are the two best. But the thing is, even within each of these, there are some features that BullX have that Axiom just doesn't have. Like, for example, I really like the mini chart summaries that you have next to each coin. So that tiny little candlestick chart, as an example. And there are many others as well that BullX has. But then are some features that Axiom have, like the bundling stats, the fact that the transactions seem to be going through a little bit faster, a few things like that, that give Axiom the advantage as well. So I would say try both and see what kind of suits you in terms of your particular trading style. Now here, it's all about the filters. So on migrated, when I click on filters here, what I like to do is I like to first of all add CA ends in pump. So I want the pump.fun coins, or you could just click here where it says pump protocol. And here on the first audit section, I like to put maximum for insiders, bundles, etc. So maybe 35% for insiders. Bundle, I'll probably put a little bit higher, probably 20 or 25% I'd put there. And then as we go further down, I'm just going to put a minimum of 40 pro traders and kind of leave everything else blank, go into metrics, and then put minimum 80k market cap. The reason I want to do 70k, 80k-ish around there, because that's the exact market cap you have to reach for the coin to get migrated and get that liquidity pool. So all the ones you see on the right hand side that migrated, at some point they were over 80k and then they may have dropped below. The thing is, if they got over 80k and dropped below, that's an extremely bad sign. It's very, very rare anything drops below bonding and then pumps into the hundreds of thousands or even millions. So then I'm just going to click on apply all. And once I've done that, I've got the list of coins there that I can look at, and I can quickly see their market caps there. And I've got all of the other summary statistics, but you can see here where it says DEX paid, the bundling is very low, inside is very low, snipers 0, devs usually sold already, top 10 holders are not too bad. 33 is a little bit on the high side, but the rest are not too bad. Because it's a smaller cap coin, you're always going to get the top 10 holder percentage a little bit higher, because even if you bought a few Solana, you already you own sometimes a few percent off the coin. And here on final stretch, what I've added here, so this is coins just before migration, and you can actually snipe these as well. But basically what I've added here is age 40 minutes, top 10 holders 40% max, insiders 30, bundle 30, and I've left everything else blank. And you notice that even for the insiders and bundles, I've given it a wide area, because a lot of people nowadays, they do launch coins on here that sometimes become decent coins and it's a decent meme, but they launch it via some bundling, some small amount of bundling. And if it's tiny percentages, it's not too bad. It's not going to really affect the price too much if they did sell. And I've seen a lot of coins where the bundles have then been sold and the coin then goes on to hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions in market cap. So you can't just filter out everything too much. So you have to be a bit careful with that. Now click on apply all. And this is one of the strategies I'm using. So basically how it works on this particular strategy, we've got market cap on the left and we've got basically time here on the x-axis and market cap on the y-axis. And the price is going up, and it's going to go up and down like this. And basically we're trying to reach the bonding mark, which is about typically 70 to 80k. That's where we're trying to reach. And then it gets migrated. And then you get new interest, new attention once it gets to radium. And then sometimes they can pump more. So this, well, let's do a different color. This post bonding pump, that could go into 100, 200k, something like that. And what I'm really looking for is, if I get into a coin at 70, 80k, you're looking to take some profits at around 120, 130k, which is around a 2x. So around that area, you're looking to take some profits, and then whatever happens, happens. And if it dips below that bonding again, that's usually not a good sign for a coin, as I mentioned already before. Now this strategy, this is a pre-migration strategy. So what I'm doing here is I'm just quickly looking for legit coins. So ones that are not obviously complete rugs or scams. And that's why I use things like Axiom and Bullex. People ask like, what's the point of these tools? It's because it just filters out the obvious scams and rugs quickly. Now it's not going to stop a coin from going to 200. That's an okay meme and slowly dying off. It's not going to stop that happening, but that's okay. We just don't want the ones where people have bundled all of the supply and then suddenly within like a millisecond, it just rugs all the way back down to 5k. That's a full-on rug where you just literally lose most of your position there if you had bought in. We don't want that. So we don't mind these slow ones. So we're getting in at anywhere from 20 to 40k market cap, and then we're going to hold. It's got a good chance of hitting migration, then we hold, then after migration we take some profit and then we move on. That's it. That's this strategy in a nutshell. So here I can see coins and I can see their market caps. So for example, I'm in this one and this is called Portnoy. So I play on the word Dave Portnoy, almost like a Geo Bowden in terms of kind of like artwork. And it just links back to one of his posts here. And this particular one, so I got in around, I think it was 40,000 or something like that. So a little bit high, but anyway, it's migrating now. And I've already put a limit order to sell. So when you go and sell limit, then you can put your limit order target. So you can move that or you can move this around. You see the line moves around and you can decide exactly how much you want to sell for it. 100% at exactly what price. So that's how I set the limit order. Now, as I say, this is migrating at the moment. So if you refresh the page here, I think it has migrated now. Yeah, so I refreshed the page, migrating. So we're in some decent profit at the moment. So we put in one soul basically. Now, where I'm looking for in terms of targets is what was the bonding price? So it's about 65k or so. So we're looking at 120 to do a 2x. So a lot of people are going to take profits there. So what I will do is go ahead and sell some of it. So I'm going to sell 50%. So that sell has actually gone through. So you see that was a sell there because that's the 2x target. So that's a very common place where people will take profits. And now it's up to me what I want to do with the other position. Now what I don't want is I don't want price going back underneath price where it's bonding. That's like almost like a support, a new support. There is no other real support. I mean, this is a brand new coin and it's hit 100 for the first time. So obviously if it drops below 100, that, you know, that's an area of support as well. So long term, if this was going to be like some amazing coin, which you can't expect it to be, obviously most of these coins right now, they're not going to pump that much. But in future, if it was really running, you'd expect it to hold over 100. But the main place of support is bonding. So if it holds over that, then it's something that's, you know, worth keeping an eye on. But if it doesn't hold over that, then that's okay too. So here on my sell, I've got 100% ready, so I can sell the rest of it and I can take my profits. But if it actually holds, so you see it bounced at the 69k, that's the bonding area, kind of bounced there. So if we jump now to a 5-second chart, let me take off the MAC. Well, actually, no, I'll leave that on there. The MACD, I'm just looking to see if the momentum turns upwards again, which it could do here. You see the blue line crossing over the signal line. That's what I'm looking for there. And I'm also keeping an eye on the RSI. And the main reason for the RSI is just areas where I can buy and sell. So dips, peaks and troughs basically. So keeping an eye on that. It's gone back to where it was before, which is resistance. Let's see if it can actually break through. The volume below is okay. Nothing wrong with that at the moment. Decent volume coming into the coin post migration, which is exactly what you want. Notice my fees here, very, very low on bribery and priority. It's just, to be honest with you, with Axiom Pro, a lot of the transactions, they're just going through, even with very, very low fees. So why would I want to add any more fees? And I've only put 7% slippage. Again, it seems to be going through. I can increase it to 20, 30%, whatever, if I need to. But at the moment, I've not needed to because the market's kind of thinner volume at the moment. Things are pumping, but nothing's going crazy fast in any direction. So I'm kind of sticking to these fees. So I'm keeping an eye on it still. Now what I can do here, if it starts to, the other thing I'm looking for is if it's struggling here and the volume's dropping, the price is holding, but the volume's kind of dropping, I might just take 50% off as well. So I've got an option to do that here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because it's not continuing its movement. Yes, you have to be patient, but at the same time, you can't wait too long. I've seen many coins today kind of just reach 140, 150, and then that's the end of it and that's the top. So I have to be careful with that too. So again, keeping an eye on it. I've taken most of my position now. So very healthy profits now from my only one sole buy that I began with on this particular position. The main issue in terms of stats with this coin was, you can see here in the bottom right, the inside is very low, top 10 okay, because on a brand new coin obviously 20-30% is going to be normal. You're going to get people who are holding a larger position because there's that little liquidity in the coin. Snipers is fine, very low too. Dev situation is fine. You can see dev bought and dev sold, and dev's holding nothing, so that's a good thing as well in these types of kind of old school meme coins almost. LP you don't have to worry about with the pump.fun coin. The bundling is a little bit high. I'll talk about that in just a minute as well. But again, for a brand new coin, you might expect some amount. It's almost like the insiders. You just don't want it to be crazy high. When we look further down on this page, the other thing we can see, let me just remove these drawings. The other things we can see is obviously the bubble map. So let's have a look at that, and let's refresh that as well. So we can actually click refresh bubble map. You can see a little bit of a link there with a couple of wallets, but nothing major in terms of problematic holdings. There's a few large wallets, few small wallets, and this is a 3% cluster. So again, nothing crazy. Nothing where I can see a cluster where it's somebody's holding between wallets 20% or more, where they could suddenly dump. So I'm not seeing that as a concern, and price is actually holding up really well. It's a nice uptrend. Volume is kind of okay. Sometimes to get a better idea of volume, just zoom out a bit. So I'm on a 30-second. So you can see volume was dropping, but it's kind of leveled off and is reasonably stable at the moment. So go back onto a 5-second. I've actually still got that sell order. That was originally where I bought. So I've left that there, like in case we get any crazy selling, or if there was any rug of any sort, I've always got that there so I can take out my initials. But even if I go out there, I'm still going to be in good profit. I think things are struggling a little bit here, so I'm going to get ready to take out my, so this is a downtrend, so lower highs, lower lows. Again, there's no guarantee that's the end of the coin or anything, but when you're in an established downtrend, you do start to worry. You can see the momentum dipping as well on the MACD. Still getting some buying, so I'm going to take the sell here now. So we're out of the position, so bought 166, sold 525, profit $360 on this position. So we talked about a pre-migration strategy, and this next strategy is a little bit different, and I'm going to show you exactly how it works. But what we're going to do here is come to the Discover tab, and what we're looking for here are coins that have volume coming into them, and they could be slightly older coins. And let me show you exactly how this works. So that's market cap there, time here again. So these are established coins, so they already have had charts. They may have gone to 20 million, 200 million, it doesn't matter. And then they're kind of been going sideways, and now what's happened is there's been some interest and some volume for whatever reason. It doesn't matter what the reason is. And all we're looking for here is we don't want to get in on the initial pump. We want to get in on the initial pullback, the first major pullback, and then we look to trade. Now, it could completely fade. Fade meaning it just goes back, all the way back to where it started from, the entire move. And then that's fine. But if it does keep pumping and we get more volume and it's the beginning of a new trend for that particular coin, then it could work. So that's all we're looking for. So here on Discover, we can add some filters as well. And on the filters here, what I've added is I've added market cap. You could actually put a little bit higher for more established coins. So let's say we put something like, let's say 3 million. So the only issue here is I don't think you can put age, which is a shame. So I put Radium Protocol, which is fine. Dex paid, which is fine. 3 million market cap. And I've left everything else blank. But if you want to, you can put a minimum of volume as well. Because we really need the volume. That's what helps the market move basically. So if we put 1 million volume, click on apply all, and we put that as a minimum, I can see in the last 24 hours the volume. And what I can do is I can sort by high to low. So if I click on here, it sorts by high to low, and you can see the highest volume going in. Now this is helpful. This tells us in the last day or so what's moving up in terms of price and stuff like that. But what's better is a 5-minute trending. So if we put the volume lower, so maybe something like 30K for argument's sake, and click on apply, and then click on 5-minute, then we can potentially get into a move a little bit earlier. So some of these coins, you right click on them, open them in a new chart, and then with these ones, you want to zoom out a lot more. So what you want to do is go out to an hourly or 4 hourly and see what's been going on. Now, some of them are newer coins anyway, which is fine. So this is a newer coin, for example. So let's go into a 5-minute, and we can see what's going on. So obviously price has been trending up, not had any major pullbacks, may get one now. I can have a look in the bottom right here, so I can see what the stats are in terms of pro trader, stuff like that. So it looks like a legit coin, but obviously you'll have to do other checks. You'll have to check on Twitter, social, stuff like that. So we could check all of this, but yeah, this looks like potentially a more legit coin. that could be trending at the moment. So it's one to keep an eye on, and you could just click it on the star and it's automatically added to your watch list. Now let's go back onto Discover. Now you can see next to them, it tells you when it was launched. So if you don't want a brand new one, you prefer an older one that's now maybe trending for whatever reason. For example, you can see Fartcoin suddenly trending a little bit. So you can have a look at those. This is called Alpha, and it's the same story. We've zoomed out, so let's just zoom out to an hourly, and I can see the entire chart then, and I can see where it ran to before, and now it's suddenly breaking out. Now this could be absolutely nothing, but at least I can see one major move there. So that move was from about 800 all the way up to 7 million, for argument's sake. Now remember, you still have to check socials and stuff and make sure this is all legit. See if you can find a reason as to why it's moving. That sometimes helps. But I'm getting in on the pullback. So here, what I'd be looking for, I mean, if it was there right now, I'd buy it right now. But basically, I'm looking for 618 or 786. I prefer nowadays, because sometimes the gap between them is wide as well. Wait for a bounce and see if the price is turning a bit with a little bit of volume, and then I would buy in. So I'm never buying in at the highs. I'm buying in on the dips. Now, if this pump means anything, then it will keep running. And if it doesn't, it's very easy, because let's say it was the 618 and I saw price slowing down at 3.22. I could put my limit sell order just underneath at 2.9. It's good to have it underneath psychological level. Psychological is 3. So I've got two supports there. I've got the support of 618 where I bought it. So if it goes back to 3.22, it might bounce. If it goes to 3 million, it might still bounce, because that's a round psychological level. But if it goes to 2.9, I'm out, because once it gets to 2.9, it's probably going to keep dropping to the next area of support anyway. So I'm only risking 10-15% of my position, which is actually not bad. And as I say on Axiom, the trades seem to go through pretty quickly, including my limit orders actually, in comparison to some of the other bots. Like I said, the best two bots, Bullex and Axiom, they're both the best, but neither is perfect. Like each of them have massive advantages over the other bots. So see which one works for you. But anyway, that's kind of the situation with this. Now, if I'm looking in the bottom right here, I can see the insider percentage on this is actually really, really high. So it's a little bit concerning. So we've got obviously got the bubble maps we can look at, and you can see there's a lot of clusters, a lot of clusters. So I don't know if these are new clusters, if somebody's been buying up the supply, it's unclear. But that would bother me a little bit as well. But let me see if that's the situation right now, because that's the other really cool thing. This is a bubble map from 15 days ago, so we can see what the state is then, and we can actually refresh it now to see the newest one, to see if there's been any changes. So we've got that here. If anything, there's probably slightly less clustering, and all the clusters are kind of smallish, 1% or so. But again, yeah, just something to note, but that wouldn't necessarily put me off, because like I said, I've got a clear stop. I know where I'm buying in, I know what my risk is, and the first place I would take rewards is probably just below 5 million if it did run again, or just below where it just ran to in terms of the previous high. And what we're looking for here is it's a risk reward play, and the likelihood is it's, you know, if it bounces here, it's less likely it's going to run to like 10 million. Let's just say it's a 1 in a 3 chance, and 2 in a 3 chance it doesn't do anything. But if it's even only a 1 in a 3 chance, it's worth it buying at, let's say, 3 million to try and do a 3x there at a risk of 10-20%. That's actually worth it if you do the maths on this particular position. So those are the kind of main strategies I'm using at the moment. But to be honest, I would give preference to the one here on Pulse, these smaller cap coins, because if you've got a smaller budget and you're trading, let's say 0.1, 0.5 Solana, something like that, you can have a much easier time trying to get 2x's and 3x's here, because you're still seeing, you see on the right hand side, you're still seeing a lot of coins run to 100, 200k. Now obviously some will run further, but there aren't many, to be honest with you. Most of them are in that region. So if you can keep picking up stuff at 20, 30k, try and get it to 100k and stuff like that, that's all right. You can build a little bit of a stack that way. Another question I had in my previous video, which is understandable, is like, you know, what do I think is going on with meme coins and stuff like that? And people are saying I said that the market's topped. I did say that, but we're not talking about meme coins in the trenches here. So remember, we're talking about very, very different things. So let me just touch on that. So I'm just going to show you briefly here. And I've mentioned this many, many times on my videos, but I think Solana topped here. So I was mentioning it literally at the time, only a day or two after, because the structure seems complete. Now, that doesn't mean anything directly for meme coins. This is an altcoin, even though I know we do obviously trade in Solana. And this could be a local top, which means we could run again. I don't know. I personally feel a lot of these altcoins have been done and dusted for a long time. And I think that Bitcoin is in massive consolidation and will eventually do one more little run like Solana did, that final little January one. And then once it comes off that, you'll get a run in select altcoins. But remember, this is altcoins and Bitcoin we're talking about here. In terms of meme coins, it's a much smaller area. So if you look at meme coins here, these coins that are, just running to a few 100,000 in market cap or a few million in market cap, they have tiny liquidity pools. Tiny, like literally only $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in it. That's all. We're not talking multi-billion market cap coins here. So I don't see this changing. I don't see trenches changing. Now the sentiment is obviously been knocked a lot because of these high scale kind of rugs we've seen recently with Libra, Trump and stuff like that. You have to think of crypto always as sectors. So we've got altcoins there, and that includes a little bit larger cap meme coins. So I'll put LM, larger meme coins like GOAT and Peanut and all of these things, which I told you, I think a lot of the market for those topped way back in December, some of them even November. So this is a no. Altcoins is a no. But then smaller cap meme coins have not really had any issue, apart from the fact now that the liquidity is less because of all the high scale rugs we've seen. But weirdly, I believe this is actually a good thing, because you're not going to get any more high scale rugs. So you're still going to get the messing about with people trying to scam and make a quick Solana or two when they're launching pump.fun coins. But the bots and tools are getting much better at picking those up now anyway. So these smaller ones don't need, they only need small amounts of dollars to move and to make multiples. And now you don't have this big worry about mass extraction events all around the small cap meme coins. However, what will you get throughout the year? You'll get political stories, you'll get influencers, massive influencers launching coins and stuff like that. I know that in a form that can be a high scale kind of rug as well, but it's a little bit different if it's an influencer who's trying to do some sort of fair launch, which I think they will still happen too. But basically with these two, you're always going to get narratives, you're always going to get stuff to talk about, and anytime there's stuff to talk about, people would create meme coins about it. And if that meme coin creates attention, then what will happen is that meme coin will run into the tens of millions. And tens of millions from 100k market cap is still 10x's or more. So that potential is still there. That's not changed. Now, how long do I think that's going to last and stuff? I don't know, but because meme coins are so easy to buy and sell, I don't see the smaller cap ones really completely getting destroyed to the point nobody does it anymore, because it's just so cheap to launch a coin for a dev. It's still worth it for a dev. It's still worth it for a small trader. So ST, small trader, it's still worth it for a small trader. Now, if you've got 7 figures and you want to put it into a meme coin here and get out more, like multiple 7 figures, so if you want to put 1 million in and you want to get 2 million back out, that's not going to happen. There's not enough liquidity. So for the whales, it might be a little bit different now, but for the smaller traders, there's still definitely potential. And I think once the dust settles and trust comes back in and a bit more volume comes back in to this trench market, then I think things are going to be better again. Because at the moment, you do have to be very selective. So just looking at the pump.fun stats alone, which I do regularly, because it just gives you an idea of what's going on in trenches and general meme coin market, but especially lower cap meme coins, which is really important. The volume is off for sure. It's dropped over the past few days, but it's still way higher than we saw in August, September, October 2024, back when meme coins were doing really well, very, very popular. And you can see here that even in terms of volume day by day, last couple of days, last 3 or 4 days, it's been quite consistently around the 850,000 Solana mark. And that's not actually changed, because today hasn't finished and we're already at 500. So it's probably going to be about the same. So it's actually kind of maintaining, definitely off from where it was over 1 million beforehand. But also what I think will happen is the total coin launches will reduce a little bit over the coming weeks, and that might be a good thing actually, so liquidity can focus again on only a few coins and those could run a little bit better. But at the same time, the very fact that you got a little bit more, we're not just going straight up and then it's just a straight rug of every single coin like that, I think is good. We're not getting that on the larger cap coins. We're getting a little bit more opportunity to buy, hold, dip buy and stuff like that. Now definitely not the old coins, like stay away from the old coins. I keep telling you that every video. I've been telling you that for weeks now. the new coins. Stay focused on the new coins. So like I've just shown you a couple of strategies that you can use here. Anything recent that launched in the last couple of months that's pumping right now, that's one strategy. Or number two strategy, the ones that are pre-migration particularly, that's where you get the ROI, where it's worth the risk. Where it's 20, 30K and you're trying to get it to like kind of 300K. That's the area now where there's opportunity here, especially if you have limited funds, and keep the fees really, really low in terms of priority fee and stuff like that when you're setting up. That's it for this one. Thanks for listening.